Well, a good Monday afternoon to you. It's Dan. I want to welcome everyone to my home in the sticks. I hope everybody had a fine weekend, and I hope everybody's having a great start to a new week. But over here in East Central Mississippi, it's in the 50-ish range. It's a little chilly, but it's nice to be outside. Before we get started on today's video, I'm always going to say that if you're new to the channel, I want to welcome you. And if you return and just see what old Dan's got going on over here, I sure enough thank you for coming back. What I want to share with you and y'all today is going to be a little bit different video. We're going to bump some gums about the old days. So give me a second, and that's what we finna do. Dan, what you going on about wanting to bump gum? Yeah, you ever see something and it sparks memories about when you were younger? So that's what this video is going to be about. And it brings me back to 45, 50 years ago, 45 years ago when I was younger, and things were much more simpler back in those days compared to what they are today. So things have really changed, and it almost seems like the good times are almost over. So that's why I titled the video, "Are the Good Times Really Over for Good?" Let me give you a few examples. Back in the day, on a Monday in New Orleans, everybody ate red beans. I mean, they soaked them red beans all day Monday, and that's what you ate for supper on Mondays. I was in Walmart last week, and it made me go back to my childhood when I saw a family shopping in Walmart, and the mother and father were questioning the kids as to what they wanted to eat. And of course, kids being kids, like, no, I'm not going to eat that. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want this. And then the parents were like, well, okay, what do you want to eat? Now, it is what it is. I know times have changed. We are in the 2000s. It's just the way that it is. But it made me think back when I was younger, if I'd have went to Walmart, if I'd have went to a local grocery store with my dad and my mama, and I'd have said something like that, they'd have been like, you know what, Dan? We showing off eating red beans tonight. If you ain't eating red beans, guess what? You fitting to go to bed hungry. It was just the way that it was back in the day. Another example, and I'm going to throw a bunch of examples at you. I saw this, and I'm going to use the term youngin' because that's what they are. They kids to me. I call them youngin'. But I saw a youngin' get out of a brand new BMW the other day. And this youngin' couldn't have been 17, 18 years old, and again made me spark back a memory back when I was that age. What did I drive? And guess what? I didn't have anything to drive. We had friends that had cars. You know, might have had a friend that had a car, and if we were going somewhere, I'd hop in with them and we go do our thing. Believe it or not, I didn't get my first vehicle until my first year of college. My dad actually bought me a truck. And it wasn't nothing special. It was just an old Ford Ranger, and it was just a way for me to get back and forth to college. And my dad made it very clear, if you leave college, guess what? You lose the truck. So as long as you're in school, you use that truck as much as you want to. Another thing that just that tickles me to death is cell phones. Of course, now everything revolves around cell phones. Nobody really uses a computer anymore because cell phones are so smart. They're like mini computers. And I can't be the pot calling the kettle black. I'd be lost without my cell phone because everything that has to do with my life revolves around the cell phone because it is time. Time is important now. My calendar on my phone is real important. Of course, using the phone, calling people calling me is real important. But it makes me go back to a time when I was younger, didn't have cell phones. Had a dang payphone on the corner that you put a dime or 15 cents or a quarter in, you made a phone call. You called you called whoever you needed to call, and you said, hey, look, meet me over here, or come pick me up here, and you hung it up. And you could hit a little quarter fall into the machine. It tickled me when I saw a group of youngins, and I mean, they were probably 8, 9-ish, maybe years old, had cell phones. They had nice cell phones than the one that I have, smartphones. And it tickled me because it made me think, dang, Dan, what did you have? Did you have a cell phone when you was 8, 9 years old? No, I didn't. But again, it's just, it is what it is, and it is the way that it is now. One thing from living in Mississippi that I've noticed is, and I have to give kudos to these folks that raised their kids this way, it is, you always see the younger generation when they speak. When I say always, most of the time, 90% of the time, when you see the younger generation, when they speak to someone older, they're always going to end it or use a salutation, yes ma'am, no ma'am. And I think that's a good thing. Myself, when I was younger, if I was addressing or somebody older addressed me, of course, you better come out with some yes ma'am, no ma'am. You better come out with that, because if you didn't, you're probably gonna get slapped in the back of the head and said, remember your manners. So I see a lot of that here in East Central Mississippi. These youngins, when they address somebody, they always say yes ma'am, no ma'am. And that's just the way that it was back in the day, and it's good to see that that still happens today. Another thing that I see when I'm driving, when I go to work, or if I'm driving somewhere down one of these old country roads, I always see a tractor sitting out in a hayfield. And it brings me back when I was younger, when I worked on my family's farm throwing hay bales. And we threw hay bales, or I threw hay bales from sunup to sundown. And sure enough, didn't get paid. You went out there and you worked. And the next day, all of them hay bales that you loaded up on the trailer, guess what? Got to go stack them in a barn. So you worked for what you got. There wasn't no, can you loan me this? Can you loan me that? No. My dad was like, if you want a vehicle or you want something, you need to work for it. If you work and you're a little short on what you need, yeah, I might be able to help you out, but you're gonna pay me back. You need to work. And that was something that my dad stressed on me when I was younger. You need to work for what you want. Growing up, my dad and my grandmother, my mama, raised me up pretty much. My mama was an excellent cook. And I remember her telling me 40 years ago, Dan, you need to learn how to cook. You need to know how to iron your own clothes. You need to wash your own clothes. You don't need to rely on anybody to do any of that for you. It tickles me, and I'm gonna use that word quite often, tickles me. It tickles me when you ask a youngin', hey, do you know how to work the washing machine? Do you know how to dry your clothes? Do you know how to iron your own clothes? No. And most of the time the answer will be, no. My mom irons my clothes and my mom washes my clothes. And that tickles me. And another thing I've seen here in East Central Mississippi is a lot of folks have a lot of pride in what they grow. And I think that is an awesome thing, because back when I was younger, a lot of the stuff that we ate was a lot of the stuff that we grew. If the good Lord didn't put out any rain and the garden didn't do good, guess what? There was a few things that we wasn't gonna eat, because we grew purple hull peas, we grew turnip greens, just greens period, corn, things of that nature, a whole bunch of tomatoes and cucumbers, and we relied on that stuff to eat during the year. And a lot of the times, the stuff that we put up during the summertime in the freezer, we relied on to have to eat during the wintertime. Seeing that and seeing folks working that garden brings me back to when I was younger, and that was working a garden, because that's what we did. And we did it. You get out of school, guess what? There ain't no playing around. You didn't even do homework. You dropped your bag, you changed your clothes, got out of your school clothes, put your work clothes on, you went and worked the garden. And there wasn't no gas powered tillers or anything like that back in the day. You worked it all with a hoe, by hand, row by row. So when I see folks out in their gardens working, it just brings me back to a time when things were much more simpler. Didn't have a lot of machinery to use. We had a tractor, and that was about it. Used it to plow up the ground, and we made our rows by hand with a hoe. I still kind of wonder if the good times are really over for good. And I have to say, a lot of these old school farmers that I know, and I know quite a few of them, they still to this day do everything by hand. They may use a tractor or a piece of equipment to turn up the ground, but They use old school wooden tools to make the rows and plant whatever it is that they planting for that season. Put something down in the comments if you grew up in the same manner that I did. What was it like when you were growing up? Of course, you know, things are different now. So put something down in the comments. I love reading comments, and I love to hear what y'all have to say about things. Well, all right, that's what I wanted to share with you and y'all today, a little bum gumping about the old days, Lord of mercy. I hope you enjoyed the video as well. It just brings me back in time when I see a whole bunch of things that are going on in our world today. So again, I hope everybody's having a show enough good Monday, and I hope everybody stays safe this week amid this crisis that we still have going on. If you like this video, go and give it a thumbs up to help. If you haven't subscribed to the Home of Six channel, Lord of mercy, y'all need to come on over here and give old Dan a look, because I'm always doing stuff. That being said, you know it's coming. Dan Referee sure enough always gonna say it. Don't let nobody dull your shine. And I mean nobody. You sure enough get your shine on. It's important. And Dan will see you and y'all in the next video.